Hi guys, welcome to another maths tutorial brought to you by Direct Tutoring. This is the last video in the 2019 non-calculator National 5 Maths paper breakdown. This will cover questions 13, 14 and 15, and you can view the earlier questions in our previous videos. So if we take a look at question 13 is a trig graph problem, and it deals with the cost graph. Now what I tell everyone with these questions is to always draw a rough sketch of a typical cost graph, just so as that you can compare it to this graph. So this is 1, this is minus 1, and this is 180. Now, all we need to know is what these numbers do to affect the key characteristics. Now, the 3 here adjusts the amplitude, so it stretches the graph in the y direction. So the limits of this graph is going to be down as far as minus 3. So we've already got the y coordinate for A. We just need the x coordinate, which is one of the turning points. Now, it's been shifted by 45 degrees positive. Now, if it's positive, it shifts it to the left hand side. So rather than it being at 180, it is going to have been shifted 45 degrees in that direction. So the x, or the x coordinate here, is then going to be 135. So your coordinates, so you could write A coordinate will be 135 and minus 3. Question 14 is a algebraic fraction question, and a few people had mentioned the issue with the minus 1. Now, the best way to deal with the minus 1 is it's not as simple as just cross multiplying, because this minus 1 is going to affect either side regardless of what way you do it. So if we take care of this first, then we can cross multiply. So I'm going to deal with just the x over 2 minus 1 first. I'm going to solve that over here. So we'll do x over 2 minus 1. But I'm going to turn that into a fraction. So 1 over 1. Now, I need the kiss and smile method. I need to get the same number on the bottom. So you're going to get x minus 2 over 2. Because that will times that and that by 2. They have the common denominator, so you can take them away. Now I can replace this with this, and then it is a straight and simple cross multiplying. So x minus 2 over 2 equals 3 minus x over 5. Now if I bring the 5 across, that will go over as times. So I'm going to get 5x minus 10 over 2, which equals 3 minus x. And similarly here, we'll take the 2 across, and that will go over as times. So we get 5x minus 10 equals 6 minus 2x. Now if I got all my x's to the left, all my numbers to the right, we can solve for the value of x. So we're going to get 5x plus 2x equals 6 plus 10. Now I'm just going to write the rest of it up here. So 5x plus 2x is 7x equals 16. Divide both sides by 7. You get 16 divided by 7. Not a very nice number, however, you don't necessarily have to get nice whole numbers in the exam. You can get unpleasant numbers like this. You could turn that into a mixed number if you want, but leaving it as a top-heavy fraction is okay. Question 15. I'm sure everyone will be aware of this question. This one made news headlines, and a lot of people struggled with getting their head around this question. However, it isn't as difficult as people make out to be. So, because part A is only worth 1 mark, and as long as we know what these variables mean, we should be okay. Because h is the height in meters, and t is in seconds. So for part A it says calculate the height, so we need to find h, when t equals 2. So, h equals, now I'm going to replace t with 2. So here t equals 2. So it's going to be 12 times 2 minus 5 times 2 squared. So h equals 24. Now 2 squared is 4 times 5 is 20 minus 20. So h equals 4 meters. Part B is a little bit more complicated. However, when you get the equation in the correct format, then it's pretty straightforward. However, trying to initially get it into that format that is the difficult part. Because it's saying that the sea is at 17 meters below the cliff top. So from 0 down to the very bottom is 17 units. However, it doesn't take into consideration the maximum value. It's asking us after how many seconds will the ball hit the sea. So we need to find the time, the x value, that corresponds to the y being minus 17. And we need it for time. So we need to know a value of h. We need to know how many meters it is. So, best way that we can do this is by writing out the equation that we had to start with, which was 12t minus 5t squared. Now, it's telling us that the ball will be at a height of minus 17 meters. So I can replace 17 in here. So I get minus 17 equals 12t minus 5t squared. Now, I'm going to move these two terms across to the other side, and you'll see why. So I'm going to get 5t squared minus 12t minus 17 equals 0. Now, we are left with a trinomial, or a quadratic. So, for an in-depth look at how we solve quadratics, we have other videos on our YouTube channel that you can check out. And we use a cross method. However, there is other methods out there using tables, using trial and error. But the cross it acts kind of like a calculator. So it will work it out for you as long as you know where to put the numbers. So we'll start off with, in this case, it'll be 5t and t. So we'll put 5t here, because these two correspond to these two terms in the bracket, and the bottom correspond to the second bracket. Put t in there. Now, two numbers that will times together to give you minus 17. 17 is a prime number, so it has to be 1 and 17. Now we just need to make a decision as to which one is going to be positive and what one is going to be negative. Now the value in the middle is negative, so that tells us that we need to make the biggest number negative. So we'll put negative 17 here and 1 here. Now, to check the calculation is done properly, you cross multiply and add them together. So 5t times 1 is 5t plus t times minus 17 is going to be negative 17t. If I add the two together, I get minus 12t. That is the same as that. So that is your first bracket, and that is your second bracket. So if we fill the values in, that's going to be 5t minus 17 and t plus 1. Now if we rearrange these, we'll get 5t minus 17 equals 0, or t plus 1 equals 0. So here t will equal minus 1, or t will equal 17 over 5. Now, we don't know which one is correct. However, if we look at the graph, we can see that any value negative for t isn't going to work. So it can't be negative. This has to be the 17 over 5, because this is the only positive value. So that means that t equals minus 1 doesn't work, and that 17 over 5 is the correct time. That's how long it will take. And if you wanted to put that into decimal, t would equal 3.4 seconds. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that the previous videos and this video have been helpful in breaking down the 2019 paper. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave any comments below. And for further help on other maths topics, please check out our channel, and we'll see you in the next video.